Pulsechain and Pulsex are going to be launching very soon. And we've already talked about the E hex and the P hex and how we're going to get to parity very quickly, in my opinion. If you didn't catch that video, you can go over and watch this video here. You click on the channel and then you just press the search right here. You can actually search for that title on the channel and find it. That is not what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the 4 different Maxi tokens. So first of all, we need to understand what Maxi is, which we're going to do briefly because there's a lot of people who already understand the Maxi token and how it's going to relate to Pulsex and Pulsechain. And then we're going to get into understanding the 4 versions of Maxi. We've got E Maxi on Ethereum. We've got P Maxi on Pulsechain when that launches and they get the free copy. We also have the wrapped Ethereum P Maxi. The wrapped E Maxi on Pulsechain. And then we also are going to have the wrapped Pulsechain Maxi on Ethereum. So we're going to cover all of that and put it all together so it makes sense in this video. But first, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam. For those of you who are returning, it is good to freaking see you. If you're returning and you haven't already subscribed, I don't know what's up. Why haven't you subscribed? Why haven't you already pressed the like button? Come on, bro. And for those of you who are new, if you want to check out some other stuff that I do, there's some links down below. Or for everybody, if you want to support the channel, there's also some links down below. Now, let's get into this video. This is super interesting, and this is why this example here that we're about to get into, these 4 versions of Maxi, this is going to show you how there's going to be so many opportunities when Pulsechain launches. In a previous video, you can go check out on the channel, I showed you how currently, this was 2 days ago, so it could be gone now, right? That's how Arbitrage works, but you could put in $10,000, do transactions, and come out with money in the outside. Not for trading, not because you think the price is going to move, not because you're trading price action, because the ratios are off. And that's what arbitrage is. If you have apples, oranges, and bananas, and they all trade 1 for 1 for 1 for 1, and there's no circumstance where if you take 5 apples and you put it into the system, you can come out with 6 or 7 of any of those because it's a 1 for 1 for 1 for 1. If those ratios are different, depending on, you have to run the numbers. You could take 5 apples, put it into the system, and come out with 7 or 8 apples because the ratios are off. If you want to catch that video, check out the channel. We're also dropping alpha all the time. So let's get into this video. Enough of that. Let's get into this video. What is Maxi? Maxi is a DAO that collected a bunch of hex to actually run a max length contract on hex. So when you do a certain size of hex, as well as the maximum length in hex, you probably, if you have heard of hex, you will have heard of bigger pays better and longer pays better. So the duration at which somebody places something into the future, if you go further into the future, you get a bigger benefit, right? Because you have to wait, right, for that. And you can't touch it, right? You just put that shit into the future and you're like, okay, cool, I'll come back to that. Also, bigger pays better. So if you have a larger bag that you put into the future, a larger amount, that pays better. So Maxi collected enough hex to hit the bigger pays better max out bonus. They also went the max length, so they collected both of those bonuses. While they were doing this, Hedron was still in their minting phase, right? Or their bonus phase or their introductory phase or whatever the F you want to call it, where I believe they got a 4x on their hedron. Instead of minting one hedron for every B share, it's now going to be 5 hedron for every B share. Right? So this is going to basically just print free money for the maxed out. Yes, it's trivial. Yes, it is trivial, but the perceived benefit in the community, the essence of what I'm collecting from other people who are talking about it, is that it has a lot of speculative value in people's minds, right? Because when you're doing things like this, you at least want to understand to a certain degree of what other people are thinking, because those are going to be the players you're going against in the marketplace. And another thing is reduced fees. So in that case, hedron, the perceived value, in my opinion, is higher than it actually should be. The perceived value, that I don't think the hedron value has a tremendous amount to offer at this moment in time. But there's a perception that the value is much greater than that. There's also, the marketplace is probably not placing any value on this either, but there's reduced fees for this. So one way to think about the fees for Maxi is that you just have one entity paying fees instead of, say, the 6,000 people that all put in money to the Maxi DAO. Right? Each of them are paying money to put it in there, and then Maxi takes all of it and stakes it into the future. And then in the future, there's a end stake fee. Every single day during that 5,000 days, there's a mark on the ledger, effectively, that all has to be written to the blockchain. So it's a larger fee that all needs to be written at once. And this happens for every 5 stake in Hex. Well, with this, instead of having 6,000 different end stakes, each paying their own gas fee, the consolidation of that into one fee is actually very big, and nobody's like factoring that into the data here, but that's big. That could be bigger than the hedron thing, but we don't know, right? And then one thing that is tremendously valuable, in my opinion, is the liquidity. Let's talk about that for a second. So Maxi, you're able to get bigger pays better, longer pays better, hedron bonus at 4x if that's what you value, reduced fees today. You get all of those benefits today. Remember what we said, bigger pays better? You need to lock your shit up for a long time. Longer pays better, right? Or both of those, a larger amount, you gotta lock your shit up for a long time. With liquidity or the tradability, you get access to all of those benefits today. I just did a video on Maxi. If you check out the channel, you'll see the crypto free money, this one right here with the blue, it's this icon here. Check out that video. Currently, this is as of yesterday evening, currently Maxi is selling at a discount relative to its implied value. I'll just show you a quick preview. You can see this. This is the 1 year value of 39 cents. Even today, Maxi should be trading at 28 cents. And it's not trading at 28 cents. It is trading at 19 cents. All right? That will change as more people recognize the actual. I hope it doesn't. I hope this doesn't until my refinance goes through. I'll buy the shit out of that. Right? But let's get back to Maxi here. And you guys can go check out that video if you care to learn more about the Maxi and why it's underpriced, and I'll run through all the numbers in there. But in this video, we're going to talk about those 4 versions of Maxi, right? Well, check this out. Thumbs up for this, right? You should give me a thumbs up for the artwork here that I just described. This should be an NFT, right? We should make this into an NFT and mint that shit. Look at that. Look at this. This is artistic as fuck. Okay. On Ethereum, we have eMaxi and wrapped PMaxi. On Pulsechain, we have P-Maxi, and wrapped E-Maxi. In the middle is Pulsex. Right? Whoa, I'm not drawing there. I'm just moving shit. Okay, let's do this. Let's grab this and let's use red. Can you guys see that? No, that is far too small. Let's go a little bit bigger. Okay, so we have understand all the four pieces. The first thing we're going to take a look at here is the wrapped E-Maxi and the value proposition of the wrapped E-Maxi. So let's think about this conceptually. So we're going to use some cool things. Let's use arrows. So somebody has E-Maxi on Ethereum, and then they're going to take it to the bridge in Pulsex, and then they're going to get a wrapped version on Pulsechain. They're going to lock up their E-Maxi, and then they're going to get wrapped E-Maxi on this side. So we have to understand this piece of it, and then we're going to dive into P-Maxi, right? Because we want to understand this thoroughly to understand what is going on here. Well, let's take a look at this. On this side here, if somebody puts in 10,000 E-Maxi, $10,000 worth of E-Maxi, and they bring it through the bridge, and say on this side, it is trading at $5,000 worth, right? So 10,000 on this side, and it trades at 5,000 over here. You're like, well, that doesn't seem like a good idea. Okay, correct. So what does somebody do if that were the case? Well, you, because you're intelligent and you know what you're doing, and myself, well, we would purchase the wrapped E-Maxi. What do you do with the purchased wrapped E-Maxi? Well, you understand that it is a derivative, and what you do after you purchase this for $5,000, you take your wrapped E-Maxi and you bring it back to the bridge and you bring it out the other side. So you purchased something for $5,000. You brought it to the bridge. You then get something worth $10,000. So you get a quick double on your bag. Sound cool? Yeah. That is why that's not going to trade for $5,000. That's going to trade, in my opinion, I think this is going to trade very close to parity, which would be $10,000 worth, right? Because if not, some people, I would just buy that shit and I'm going to bring it back across the bridge and get double on my bag, minus transaction fees, right? So it's going to be slightly lower than 10K because you got to factor in transaction fees, right? But this is going to present massive opportunities. Who else is talking about this? You guys should get a thumbs up. You guys should share this video, right? Trying to grow the community. Trying to spread more of this alpha to everybody. Now, let's take a look at this side over here, right? We're going to have the ratio, the pair on Pulsex. So let's do another one of these cute little circles here. Well, let's make it a different color here. Let's make it red again. We're going to have somebody that goes through and provides liquidity on Pulsex. They're going to provide their wrapped E-Maxi with P-Maxi, presumably, right? Because if somebody's caring about parity, this is one way to do that. Somebody who has a lot more money in the marketplace than I do at this moment, right? So let's think about this for a second. We understand wrapped E-Maxi. Now, somebody brings their wrapped over. We understand how that's going to sit very close to $10,000, right? It's going to stay very close to this number right here because there's a bridge. If it trades for less than that, we're going to increase our bag. If it was 9,000, cool, we just made $1,000. If it's trading at 2,000, cool, we get a 5x on our money, right? Like it's not going to trade at that little amount, right? So over here, let's play a little game here. Say it's trading 1 for 2. What does that mean? That means you go to Pulsex, the DEX, to exchange your wrapped E-Maxi for P-Maxi. And it's 2 for 1. One, because remember, this is just a copy, right? P-Maxi is just a copy, right? So you think it's going to trade 1 for 1, or you think it's going to trade for 1 for 2, 1 for 10, 1 for 5, 1 for 26? You can let me know down below in the comments, right? Do that now. Okay, now that you did that, let's talk about this. Did you think it was going to be 1 for 1? Think about this. If it's 1 for 2, then let's start at the beginning. Maxi 10K is roughly 50,000 coins. So somebody brings in 50,000 coins through the bridge. They pay the fee. They bring that over here. There's actually 3 fees, by the way. There's going to be the bridge fee, there's going to be a pulse fee, and then there's going to be an ETH fee, right? So it's not a non-trivial thing, but depending on the size of your bag, it's going to be a relatively trivial thing. Still a concern, but that's what point 3 is that we're going to talk about in a couple of minutes. Bring in 50,000 coins, now you have 50,000 wrapped Maxi. Now you come over here and you see a 2 for 1. You're like, dope, dope. I'm going to take my 50,000 Maxi bridged over to wrapped Maxi on Pulsechain, and I'm going to swap that 2 for 1 with Maxi. And I just doubled my bag to 100,000 Maxi. And you're like, well, it could be worthless. Let's talk about that. So that, my friends, let's talk about Maxi. Why do you think Maxi won't have a value? Why do you think Maxi will have a value? Leave it down below in the comments. If you think about what Maxi represents, then what you can infer is that if somebody, and by the way, if this is kind of like grasping at the edge of your like ability to see what is happening, first of all, it's okay. Go watch the other video, like this video here. Go watch the video on the free like crypto arbitrage video. Go watch the hex parity video. Like, you're going to get a better understanding of how this works by watching some of those other videos and the Maxi video and what its true value is in terms of like its intrinsic value, what it's actually worth. Then you'll get a better idea. Maxi represents this. That represents this on the Pulse side. That means in 15 years, one Maxi is going to give you that proportion of hex, hedron, no fee or very low fees that you can trade. This is a tremendous value proposition. And we did even in this video get into the ratio. What do you think the ratio between Maxi and hex, hex could be, right? Hex on Pulsechain and Maxi on Pulsechain. What do you think about those? We're not going to cover that in the video. This is already too much fun with just this shit here. So this represents that. And we already know that hex is, there's a very high probability in my personal opinion of the market that hex is going to hit parity very quickly just because of what hex is, and it's part of the ecosystem. So if you're thinking like what's going to hit parity first, hex is going to hit it super fast, in my opinion. I think it's going to hit it very, very, very quickly. Because if it doesn't, then there's opportunity to make money. Go watch other video talking about how that happens. When Pulsechain launches, we're going to have a shitload of more videos like this covering all the opportunity. If my bag was bigger, I would be taking advantage of more of these things and then making videos about how I'm taking advantage of these things. So as I continue to do that, I want to provide value to the people who are actually here, so showing you how to actually do this stuff, right? So this, if it trades at less, if you don't think this is valuable, this is going to represent that stake in hex. So then what you would effectively be saying is that you don't think hex, hex is going to be valuable. And if you go watch this video, this will explain to you exactly why it's going to actually be valuable. So this effectively allows you to double your bag again. What that implies is that this ratio here is not going to be 1 for 2 or 1 for 10. This is going to be a 1 for 1 ratio, or very close to a 1 for 1 ratio. And this nuance is probably not going to be spotted, or may potentially not be spotted in the market immediately. Just like those other arbitrage opportunities that I mentioned in the other video, just like the other opportunity around Maxi's current price at a discount. This stuff in crypto is brand new. People are not realizing these stupid, massive opportunities in front of them. So I'm gonna mop the floor. Okay, so the same thing, right? We can run through the same exact scenario here by doing the same thing, bringing your shit over, right? Let's use a different color. Let's use purple. So if somebody has their PMAX, they bring it over to the bridge and they bring it down here. What you're effectively doing is you're bringing 50,000, say, PMAXi to the bridge. You're bringing it through that bridge. Now you're going to have wrapped PMAXi, right? And then we're going to go through the same exact thing, but it would be Uniswap, right? Then you're going to have a pair. Let's do this. We're going to have a pair of these two right here and right here on Uniswap, right? Whoops. These two are going to be on Uniswap together in a pair. And given the data that we just took a look at, the actual value of the ratio should be 1-for-1. If it's not trading 1-for-1, there could be a marginal difference because of fees, right? But if they're not trading 1-for-1 and there's a larger disparity there, that's an opportunity to make money and do the exact same thing in reverse. We don't need to get into the video, the details of that, because we just went through that. If you can't follow this, rewatch this again. Now, one thing that we did not cover that is definitely a very probable event is another bridge. Interesting. This could get real interesting, because then, and you guys can let me know in the comments here. Well, one thing about Pulsechain is, right, some bridges are free, Pulsechain is not free. Pulsechain, you have to pay both the Ethereum and Pulse fee, right, their mainnet fee, but you also have to pay, I think it's 0.1% fee to transfer money over. So there's definitely a market for somebody to come in with zero fees, right? If a protocol is developed that has zero fees associated with it, that could be very compelling to certain people, right? And then you're at, and the interoperability of wrapped Maxi versus the wrapped Maxi from Pulsechain. I don't think they're going to be like the same thing, which is going to be, oh man, this is so interesting, guys. I find this stuff fascinating. If you like these kinds of videos, if you like this kind of stuff, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you press the bell notification so when alpha's dropping, you're the first to know about it. Now, love to hear your thoughts on all of this stuff down below. If you found value in this, if you enjoyed this content, if you thought this was interesting, then I have an ask. I am trying to win a contest here where I can actually win free hacks if I'm able to beat this guy here on Twitter. Motley the Investor has 14,000 plus followers. And he is a sponsor of this crypto fitness challenge that I'm doing. And I can't destroy him in the fitness crypto challenge, right? Cannot completely and utterly dominate him in the fitness challenge because he's sponsoring it and so am I. So we're doing a separate, well, he proposes it right here, and this is the only way I can win is with your help, that if I'm able to beat him on Twitter followers, then he'll give me 50,000 hacks. That means I need about 133 new followers per day. The contest ends on July 1st. So we're going to be doing an update on this regularly. If you found value, if you support, right, what we're doing here, I'm bringing as much value as I possibly can. So if you found value in this stuff and you appreciate this and you're like, oh, wow, this dude's a little cray-cray, but I still support what he's doing, There's a link down below for my Twitter. Jump over to Twitter, retweet something of mine, tag me, follow me, help me win this, because I'm going to be dropping stupid amounts of alpha that nobody else is going to drop, because they're going to hold that shit in. The stuff I'm talking about in these videos. Right? Here. The other stuff I'm talking about in terms of the actual price of Hex Maxi, right? You can go watch this video, right? This is going to give you an implied price of 28 cents. It's currently trading at 19 cents. That's a stupid discount. Nobody else is going to show you this stuff. The arbitrage between Hedron, Hex, and Maxi is real. It's a real thing. You can go watch that video. Nobody else is doing these videos for you. I am. The only thing I'm asking, if you find value in them, jump over to Twitter, tag me, follow, retweet something of mine. I'm very active on that too, because I'm trying to win the 50,000 hacks. Because if it's 50,000 e-hacks, then I get a double on my back, which would be 100,000 hacks, which is, or even 50,000 hacks is a lot more hacks than I actually own. So appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon. Peace. Oh, there's another. If you want to check out fitness-related channel, well, don't. The biggest thing you can do if you want to check out the fitness channel to find other alpha related to the fitness community, not just like we're in DeFi. There's that whole space in the fitness community that you don't know about related to like peptides and other compounds and stuff. So if you want to check that out, there's an icon up here. You can jump over there, or there's a link down below. Appreciate you. Peace.